Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The moment Marcus noticed her hands trembling over an untouched glass of water, his chest tightened. It was the same ache he used to feel when bills stacked higher than hope, and his son asked questions he couldn't answer. The restaurant was warm and elegant, far beyond the places Marcus usually stepped into. Yet the chill he felt had nothing to do with money or status. Across the table sat a woman who looked like she belonged to another world, dressed with quiet power and grace. Her mascara was barely holding together against tears she clearly hadn't planned to shed. What if this were you? Sitting across from a stranger, realizing both of you carried invisible weights heavy enough to shatter the night before it even began. Marcus was a single father in Ohio, the kind of man who measured life in grocery lists and school schedules. His wife had died 3 years earlier after a short, brutal illness, one that drained their savings and left him standing alone with a 5-year-old boy named Noah and a heart still learning how to breathe. He worked maintenance at a small apartment complex, picking up side jobs whenever he could, often coming home with scraped hands and quiet exhaustion. The blind date had been a rare concession to a coworker's persistence, a gentle push toward something called living again. He had almost canceled, worried about his worn jacket and the truth that always surfaced eventually. But something told him to show up, even if only to remind himself he was still human. The woman across from him was named Rebecca, a name he vaguely recognized from business headlines he never read past the first paragraph. She was the CEO of a rapidly growing tech firm based in California, in town for a board meeting and apparently just as reluctant to be there as he was. The date had been arranged by mutual acquaintances who believed loneliness didn't discriminate between wealth and struggle. At first glance, Rebecca seemed unbreakable. Her posture was straight, her voice steady as she introduced herself. But the cracks appeared quickly. Her eyes carried the exhaustion of someone who had climbed too high too fast, and forgotten what the ground felt like. As the evening unfolded, something shifted. A quiet understanding neither of them expected. Marcus listened more than he spoke, a habit shaped by years of comforting a grieving child. Rebecca, sensing safety in his silence, let her composure slip. She spoke of a life filled with meetings, flights, applause, and isolation. Of nights spent staring at city lights from hotel windows, wondering when success had become another word for emptiness. Then came the moment that broke him. She admitted the blind date wasn't about romance at all. It was about proving to herself that she could still feel something real. Her last relationship had ended with a single accusation, that she loved her company more than people. Marcus swallowed hard. Her pain mirrored his in an unexpected way. He hadn't lost love to ambition but to fate. Still, the result was the same. A hollow space where warmth used to live. He thought of Noah at home with the neighbor, probably asleep, one arm wrapped around the worn teddy bear his mother had given him. He wondered what choice he would have made if power demanded the sacrifice of quiet moments that mattered most. Rebecca wiped her tears, apologizing for breaking down on what was supposed to be a simple evening. There was no dramatic rescue, no grand gesture, just two people sitting with the truth of each other's wounds. Marcus shared his story in pieces, how loss taught him the importance of showing up, even when you feel unworthy or afraid. He didn't speak of heroism, only of ordinary days that demanded extraordinary strength. Rebecca listened, not to respond, not to escape, but to understand. In that shared silence, something softened inside her. She realized success didn't have to mean solitude, and vulnerability, though terrifying, could be a bridge instead of a weakness. The night ended without promises or expectations, just gratitude for honesty. Marcus walked back to his old sedan feeling lighter, even though nothing in his life had materially changed. Rebecca returned to her hotel room and, for the first time in years, slept without the television on. In the weeks that followed, they stayed in touch. No rushing, no labels, just something slow and deliberate. Rebecca began setting boundaries at work, choosing presence over perfection. Marcus smiled more. Not because his struggles disappeared, but because someone finally saw him beyond his circumstances. Months later, Rebecca returned to Ohio, not for meetings but for Noah's school play. Sitting beside Marcus, tears in her eyes as a little boy waved from the stage, she finally understood what had been missing all along. Life wasn't about climbing higher alone, it was about who waited for you when you came back down. Marcus, watching her clap with genuine joy, felt something he hadn't allowed himself to feel since his wife passed away. A cautious hope that love could return without replacing what was lost. Sometimes the most powerful connections aren't born from perfection, but from shared brokenness. From the courage to sit with someone's pain without trying to fix it. If you were in their place, would you have walked away at the first sign of tears, or stayed long enough to listen? Would you have chosen comfort over connection, or risked your heart for the chance to feel alive again? If this story touched you, share your thoughts in the comments. Like, comment, and share so stories of kindness, hope, and second chances can reach those who need them most.